idea of what's going on as well. There you go. So you can see all 10 players on, or at least they were for a couple seconds after someone just disconnected. Nip Hellraisers should be on live somewhere. I can't help you with the specific streams. Obviously, this is the only one that I've been invested in. Hit up HLTV. You should be able to find all the IPs or potential streams there. But in terms of this game, we are going to be getting rolling pretty shortly. For those of you asking as well, Train's the first map. Second map will be Cash, which adds more fuel to how close and electric this match could end up being. What do you guys reckon? Huge game. Where do your predictions come down? I saw a lot of you in chat earlier saying you think VP are going to take this. I mean, VP have been in pretty hot form lately, whereas G2 have been struggling a little bit, I think it's safe to say. They had a poor showing at ESL New York, whereas VP actually very nearly went the full distance. They've won DreamHack Bucharest, and they won E-League before that. They've been pretty solid, I think it's safe to say. VP 2-0, G2 0. So it's hard to say exactly what's going to happen tonight in terms of the standings. What I do know is that 1-1, if they split the maps, it may not be good enough for either team. It depends as well. Even if they 2-0 today, VP and G2 are currently floating around the 8th to 6th positions. G2 right now are 3 points behind Virtus.pro. So 1-1 definitely wouldn't be good enough for G2, that's absolutely certain. If VP get one map and lose one, it's going to come down to how the other matches go tonight. And if they 2-0, they still may end up not qualifying as a result of the other matches. So there are so many different variables, so many different ways this could go. There's also round difference, I know that there's in the league right now, so that could also come into play if things start to get pretty interesting. Why aren't I casting at Epicenter? I mean, pretty straightforward. I wasn't asked. If I'd been asked, I'm pretty sure I'd have gone, because that looks like a sick tournament, but nope, didn't get asked. Here we go though, ladies and gents. Looks like we're about to jump live into the action. G2 of Virtus.pro. G2 will be starting on the CT side of Train. Virtus.pro are terrifying on their T side. They've shown this so often. But will today be where we see a dud coming into play? Because VP, as good as they are, as good as they've been lately, Scream, please don't do this to me. Okay, he didn't DC. I thought we were going to have some kind of a restart going in. As good as VP can be, we know these guys do have an off day, especially online. They can certainly fall by the wayside. So let's hope that's not going to be the case today and that we have some fireworks. But as it stands, they're going to be running with a 3-2 formation. Looks like it could be a play onto the A side. They do have a smoke in the hands of Bialy. Rest of the team coming in with decoys. This is something that VP always go for. It's almost like a trademark of VP, always picking decoys up in pistols. Not too many teams go for that, honestly. But there's Scream with the one taps. Can he get any more? He's going to be trying to wrap himself back towards the main side where Stacks is tapping on him. That smoke does keep him at bay, though. And RPK can only pick up the one frag. We'll pick up a second one as well. Looking for a third one. And lands it on top. Taz, beautiful play by RPK. The bomb's been dropped out as well. And single-handedly will win this pistol round. It started by Scream. RPK, the other Ivy player, comes up big. G2 take the first rounds. But if RPK doesn't go massive there, VP could have easily swarmed the site and got at least a bomb plant for their troubles. As it stands, though, it is going to be the force for Virtus.pro. If they've got the bomb down, they'd have had the choice of maybe saving for AKs. That choice has been taken off the table. 4 SMGs and 1 assault rifle. G2 going for the farming. They've got Smiths on the M4. Of course, you expect to see him with an AWP in his hands a bit later on. That is going to put VP on the back foot. You can see Body toing and throwing in that grenade just on the off chance that the charge came in. You can see he was maybe forced into that as a result of being on his own. Smith has got into connector, but for that split second, Body was all by himself. So a bit of a panic nade. It's not going to cost him just yet. And it's just be Pasha who's actually lurking on Ivy. RPK still in the same position as last round where he locked it down, but there's Body with the UMP. All too easy. Taz is going to come back for one frag, but this has to be on Body, really. If he doesn't pick up those 2 kills, the round could have got out of control. Scream from behind should best Snacks at close range, and it will be a case of the Poles just dipping out of this round. Pasha, who wants a lurking man, has now given his position away. He's been compromised. What a 1-tap, 2 taps. Hello, Pasha. Shocks and Scream get completely demolished. And Pasha may not be finished just yet. Yes, he will. But a valiant attempt at the end from Papa Biceps. Jeez. Not too shabby. That's going to give him a little bit of money to go forward to in round 4 with. But this is going to be the eco. Maybe Pasha picks up a pistol of some description. It's going to be a P250. Some tasty Deagle work, but G2 still firmly in control with 3 MP9s. They know the economic situation for Virtus Pro is precarious, and they're going to jump on top of that. Shock to the first headshot. There's probably going to be a lot more to come around the showers. Our VP getting picked off 1 by 1. 2 frags for Body, 2 for Shocks, both building up that bank balance nicely. And Shocks will finish off the full house of frags with his 3rd. VP will have a buy, but it will not include an AWP. That being said, these guys are very explosive on their T rounds, so they don't really need an AWP, to be honest. And if they were to pick one up, we'd expect to see it in the hands of Snacks, but there are multiple players on the side of VP that can take it. It's just been that Snacks has been AWPing lately, more so than anyone else. On the other hand, however, G2 have 2 AWPs. So both Shocks and Smiths will be looking to turret down their positions. Shocks is in connector. Smiths, as you can see here, on top of the green train. Aggressive plays by Scream. Not too scared to go into T main and get some information for his team. He's not going to push any further. That would be certainly not the greatest of IDs. He's actually getting spammed through the wall of Snacks. Only 85 damage, though. I say only 5 damage, something that's turned into 48. He has to back away with 52 health, and that's a pretty decent little trade by Snacks. Intelligent as well, playing passively in T main. Realising one of the CTs may have pushed in there, it doesn't hurt to at least spam through. And Scream almost, you know, muttering, "You what, mate?" under his breath as he pulls away. Dirty Snacks. Meanwhile, 40 seconds left on the timer. Virtus Pro still yet to pull the trigger, but they're about to do just that. And it's probably going to be down to Scream. And it's not going to happen for him. Pasha just comes in and sweeps him aside. Smith's in the meanwhile desperate to try and get a pick, but the smoke is in his eyes. Taz now walks into his crosshairs. Bomb's been dropped out. In a nasty position. Smith's going to try and jump on top of that. But, speaking of jumping, Snacks bunny hops his way around the corner and we'll get the plant. So well and good getting the plant. It's what happens from here that really counts. There's Smiths for a second, missing out on a 3rd narrowly. And now it's up to Shocks to step up to the plate and deliver he shall into the backside of Snacks. Meanwhile, Pasha in a decent position to fend off this bomb. But the problem with this position in a 2 versus 1, as soon as you shoot, you're in a very isolated, claustrophobic position. And he gets spotted out anyway. So G2 will pick up a 4th round, retain both AWPs. And have started in a very confident way. So look at the scores. Still early days, of course, but Body on 5. Alongside Shocks, RPK and Smith just behind them. Whereas it's really only Pasha that's been getting his hands dirty so far. 3 kills. 2 of which were beautiful 1-taps with a dig right after each other. So disgusting play. Smith probably isn't going to get another chance from that position, but fortunately for him, Scream steps up. A bit ominous, a bit tenuous. Smith will go down. VP coming in for a force buy into this round means they'll have very few grenades. They're just going off raw firepower, and Scream comes in with another 2 kills. 3 for the round. He's not going to get any more from it. As Neo will silence him momentarily. Neo gets caught out in no man's land, but Shock's not able to connect. Still so much time left on the board. Neo doesn't have to rush this. This is where grenades would be so important for him. Body. Will go peeking around and gets punished, so now it's on Shocks, and Neo's going to have a rough idea as to where Shocks is. He heard the AWP shot ringing out earlier. Really trying to toy around with the position and try and get the drop onto Shocks as he jumps across. Very intelligent play. I believe Neo's just going to scamper across to the B side now, and we'll have this plant for free. So, where does Shocks come into this one? The bomb's also planted in a position where Neo could defend this from multiple positions himself. He spots onto Shocks, lands the frag, and Neo gets the clutch. 3 kills in the round. VP will secure their first. In a round, really, that you expected them to just slip away, and they had full AKs but no nades, and the early frags went the way of G2. Neo stepping up big. Well played. Double ups again for G2, so they're really digging deep into their back pockets. You can see now, they won't have a pot to piss in if they lose this round, and they've got RPK on a 5-7. This is VP's ticket back into train. They have an AWP in the hands of Snacks. It's the first time we've seen this so far. About to get hot in there for body. He's going to have to run his way out. It means he's used a lot of his utility, all of his utility in fact, just to escape. Still loses a lot of health. RPK, if he gets greedy for that weapon, can end up being on the receiving end of a battering. Meanwhile, Smith's battening down the hatch, lands the frag onto Taz, and VP are really struggling here to keep themselves above water. Screaming meanwhile with the UMP onto Snacks, so the AWP is dead and buried for Virtus Pro for the time being. But additionally, the bomb has been dropped, and it's not going to be too easy to salvage. However, Neo and Bialy are putting a lot of lead down range, and they have brought this back to equality. Body is low. No nades, but they do have Shocks with the AWP. 45 seconds left. Bomb has now been picked up as a result of the 2 frags. Bialy is going to get the drop onto Shocks, who's not expecting that. Switches his aim towards Pop Dog as Body comes out, and VP do pick up a second round, and as a result of that, G2 will have no money. But as Pro now can definitely claw this one back to equality after such a shaky start. G2 are only seemingly going to have a Deagle and a P250 in the hands of Scream and Shocks respectively. So let's see if they try a stack of some kind and catch VP unawares. Pretty standard, honestly. Aggressive positions have been taken. Shocks in particular is going aggressive into Pop Dog. But other than that, nothing too out of the ordinary in this round. So VP should be able to sweep aside G2 pretty convincingly, you'd assume. Shocks is going to make a move. This could all come down to timing. Neo and Taz cue the Jaws music because he's going to jump on top of them. He can sense the prey. Shocks with the P250 can't get his hands on the weapon. But if he plays the angle correctly, that could force the CTs, or the T's, pardon me, into a desperate kind of move in their. Shocks with the second kill. AK has now been picked up. No Kevlar, so aim punch is going to be a real threat and danger to contend with. Speaking of which, RPK had a whole bunch of it. Couldn't land much onto Pasha, but Scream Steagle will. Virtus Pro are keeping in this round, but now it comes down to Shocks, the one player with the assault rifle. Going to be lurking his way on the back of the site. Molly goes just behind him into Pop Dog. So, on the trajectory, he knows where the last player is now. It's going to be Snacks. Shocks can actually pull this one off. Snacks is just on 24 health. This is where the aim punch may not be an issue after all. Already 3 kills into this round. Can he make it a quad? Snacks has 20 seconds. Only good news for him is he has the bomb. The downside is Shocks is calling this one to perfection. He's going up into heaven. He's not being dissuaded. He's actually going to be hiding on the ladder and trying to play the time here. 5 seconds left. Snacks will get the bomb planted, but if he comes out into the open, he's a dead man. And Shocks is going to jump on top of it with a 4K and a clutch to boot. Beautiful play through hyper-aggression on Pop Dog with his P250. And G2, who are looking to maybe go back to even, have now re-established a 3-round lead at 5-2. VP will be sick to their stomach. Shocks move to 9 and 3. Very well played by Shocks, not just for the 4K, but how he approached the 1v2. He saw the trajectory of the Molotov, lands the frag, 1-on-1 with Snacks, and from there on in, there's only going to be one winner. Meanwhile, G2 have got to make sure they keep this going forward. If they get broken again, their economy in a place where really Smiths would be able to buy, and it would be likely that another eco, or at least a half buy, would be imminent. So VP is still in this. They do have a deal and a Tech 9 into this round. And actually, really no utility to play with now, just a Molotov. Smiths and Shocks getting themselves back on the scoreboard. More notches on the belt for Shocks, who's over the 10k mark now. And came in kills, not money, of course. Snacks is going to get spotted and fragged in an all too easy round for G2. No casualties. Great for the back balance. Not so great for Virtus Pro, who are back into another eco. Shocks, I love you. Understandable for a G2 fan to love Shocks. This guy is often their shining light. You know, between him and Scream, they have some serious firepower. So full-on Glocks. Best case scenario really for Virtus Pro in this round is bomb plant. That's probably all they're hoping for. That's the mission they've decided upon. And I like how G2 have played into this round as well. Like, typically it's Body who's on B by himself, but now reading the economic situation, reading that Virtus Pro would likely be into some kind of a B rush, they put 2 players here instead to try and just stop this bomb from going down. You can hear that the molly incendiaries have been exchanged. The bomb is going to get planted though, so Virtus Pro... Oh no, it's actually not. It's been taken down just before it gets planted. I think it was Shocks that stopped it. Gets another frag for himself. Decent rounds. They did lose Body, but no big deal. That must have been a matter of a second or so from being planted. So Virtus Pro nearly accomplishing their mission, but not quite. Full AKs. Curious if we're going to see another super fast push out of main from Virtus Pro. They're a team that like to run with that from time to time, and the blitzkrieg approach often gets them a lot of rounds. But this round will not be offering such a tactic. And Scream, not for the first time, elects to pop flash his way into main. Last time he got wrecked through the wall by Shocks. By Snacks, pardon me. There's so many S's on this map. My old brain can't take it. Yeah, it's Snacks that wrecked him through the wall, so I was curious if we'd see a repeat performance. Not quite today. Look how aggressively Body and Shocks are playing in Boxhalls. This is the first time that G2 have gone for this kind of a play. The flash is going to wreck Body, but this is why they go for the 2-man stack. The problem is that Shocks whiffs his opportunity. Only puts Taz down to 41 and Neon to 59. So with Body's death, this is going to put Scream onto the B side. Very passive approach from the CTs. You can see here, 2 of them back on the Ivy CT sides. And Scream at the back towards CT itself. So this does give up a lot of real estate when it comes to the site itself. And now that VP are pressing the go button with the smokes, the CTs can't see anything, so it definitely will be a bomb plant coming to fruition. It's hard to see how G2 claw this one back from this now. Pasha point blank range will get taken down from Smiths. So that does give the CTs a glimmer of hope. Also allows both Scream and Shocks to pull their way from the CT, spawn into the Ivy sides. Positions for Virtus Pro though stacked on the site. They have no grenades to try and repel this push with. Here comes Scream. Lands the headshot. There's a second one and a third. Scream setting this round alight. It's all on Neo. He's going to try and spam his way to victory, but it's not going to happen. And with Smiths on the defuse kit, he will just about have enough time G2 will pick up an 8th round, and Virtus Pro were on the brink of taking that for themselves. But Scream's beautiful 3k will stop them dead in their tracks. They can buy again VP, but it would be a poor buy. In a similar position, they went for full AK-47s at the expense of some grenades. It looks like that's going to be the same case. Snacks could go for that. It would mean 0 nades in his pocket. Well, just as I was highlighting earlier, when you've got Scream and Shox on the same team, if they're performing, these guys are a duo very difficult to take down. And they've just been turning up so far. It's a big match for both teams. So far, G2 prime position. Here comes Body, not able to lock on with his transfer on the spray and pick up a second kill, but did do significant damage. Taz down to 12. And of course the kill onto Snacks before that. So not a bad account for himself. The issue for G2 though, as it spreads them out a little bit thinner. Shox now has to take B by himself with the AWP. I knew if I said lock on, someone would be like, he's calling hacks. It's just poor term. My bad. Bad Inglando. So 42 seconds left, and it is going to be the B hit. Shox is going to have some reinforcements coming in from Connector. May not require it, though. First kill. Overkill onto Pasha. Headshot with the AWP. It's going to leave a mark. Taz out into the open. Lamb to the slaughter. All too easy for G2. The bomb planted again for Virtus Pro, but they're unable to hold on to this. Smiths with a pretty tasty P250 frag. Leaves Bialy in a 1 and 3, and he's not able to get it done. G2 now move to 9 rounds. 7-round lead. Whitecaster no speak good London. It's probably because I'm from the northeast, mate. Double up again. Able to afford that and still have Smiths on over 8k. Rest of G2 will be able to buy as well on top of that. So there's no easy rounds in the foreseeable future for Virtus Pro. They're going to have to win a couple rounds back-to-back here to put G2 into a bad position. That being said, it's still definitely up in the air. Virtus Pro, if they finish this half strong, which we know they can do, they can get a spree of rounds. Could certainly set up a decent CT side, but Smith's getting the opening pick and being able to back away after taking down Bjarly. RPK, Smiths again. G2 just don't seem to be able to miss right now. Neo with a beautiful double spray there. I say double spray, the second one was basically a one-tap. Pasha had already weakened RPK. Gets them back into this round somewhat, but the problem is that they have no nades. Very nicely done by Neo. Still, well, of course, curse to the commentator. I was about to say, he's still on 100 health. Gets sprayed, of course. Brilliant. Now, Snacks with a minute to play with. He's going to have to dip into his playbook and pull out something spectacular. 2 AWPs to play against an M4, plenty of nades. There's the first one. Position now, however, is known, or at least roughly known. The way that Shox has been playing, and put it past him to just lock on with this AWP shot. That's what happens. 10-2. G2 now cruising towards a very comfortable first half on train. Pause has been called. Let's see if Virtus Pro can rack their brains together and come up with a winning formula to take us to 10-5. For me, that's going to be what they're looking at here. Then second pistol gives them a real chance, but right now it's looking poor. Smiths with the auto sniper. Why the hell not? So what do we reckon then, guys? A lot of you gave me predictions earlier. It would be an easy 2-0 for Virtus Pro. Is there anybody that would like to retract this statement? Now is the only chance I'll give you. Or do you want to stick by VP? Do you think they can come back from this deficit? For me, though, it's not necessarily just the fact they're 10-2 behind. It's the manner in which they've been picked apart, honestly. Taz is on 2 for 12. Pasha's 5 and 12. Snack 6 and 12. It's been a rough day at the office. Especially considering that Taz is typically the B player and often plays B by himself. It does worry me if he's not necessarily firing on all cylinders. If they start aggressing onto B, if Taz will be able to hold that one down. He's very good on B, though, I will mention. He's one of the better players on B side. VP comeback. You believe, huh, Edison? VP has to win pistol, pretty much. For me, I think they've got to win at least 4 rounds in this half. I think if they go into the second half with 2 rounds, even if they win pistol, it may not matter. So I think they've got to go on at least 11-4, obviously preferably 10-5, win the second pistol, bring us back to like a 10-7 scoreline potentially, or like an 11-6, 11-7 scoreline, and then the comeback's very real, it's very possible. But there's a lot of maybes, ifs, and buts, and remember, for those of you that aren't aware and just tuning in for some good Counter-Strike here, which of course this game should be great Counter-Strike, but there's a lot on the line for this game. Today is the last game in the ESL Pro League for both these teams, as it is for the rest of the teams too. There's a lot of games going on simultaneously. And basically both teams are around that 6th position mark, where the top 6 teams will go to the offline LAN. They qualify for LAN. So G2 are 3 points behind Virtus.pro. If they win this, they'd be even going into that second map. And it's not even necessarily guaranteed that if one of these teams takes a 2-0, they even qualify. It's very dependent on the rest of the games that are being played today. So with that being said, the pause has came and gone, and Scream catches Pasha with this nade out. The aggressive play. What's going on there, VP? Surely somebody's watching for that push. Scream's done this a few times. Fair enough, you just have pistols, but after a pause, that's got to be crushing. Snacks in the meanwhile is going to try and do whatever he can. The P250 work from Neo through the smoke. Lands the AWP shot as well. What is happening here? G2 were looking odds-on favourite to take this round. It's a formality, and now Bonnie may very well still pull it back for his team. Neo with the play of dreams, but it is still Snacks in a one-on-one, and he doesn't have Kevlar. We've been here before. Last time it was Shocks. Bomb planted, not necessarily for Snacks though. He's going to have to come out into the open to try and defend this. Or will he? Body gets caught and Snacks sprays him down. Neo's godlike play will keep Virtus.pro in the round and indeed win them it. G2, interestingly enough, RPK and Scream have very low funds. So they can buy into this round with Smith, Shocks and Body. Which they will. But that means we're going to have RPK and Scream on 5-7s. Neo was sick and tired of sitting idly by. He went for the aggressive play through smoke and it paid out for him. Very well done. He continues to impress. But there's Scream again. How many times have we seen him aggressively play team main and just clean house? That is an AWP now shifting hands. Just when you thought Virtus.pro could start to bring this back, it's looking poor again. RPK's heard the footsteps. I think someone made a move there. He's going to be coming around the corner of the 5-7. There's one frag. And a second one purely gets tapped to the forehead. Execution style. Double 5-7 kills. The VP must be having flashbacks to the Scream 5-7 play earlier. And now it's down to Taz. 1-on-4. Did not see this one coming with 2 pistols. Thought VP be able to glide their way into a decent first half, all things considered. Smiths will get bested, but does so much damage. It's not a clean kill. Taz on 11 health. Looking for a miracle play. It's not going to happen. G2 take the rounds. RPK's double 5-7 headshots on Ivy. Setting up things beautifully. Shock 17-5, but look at Virtus.pro. Neo, his team are getting battered, and he's joint second frags overall. 15-12, the only player with more kills than deaths. That definitely deserves some serious props, but the problem is that he's trying to carry the rest of his team with behind him. For me, one of the main issues on this map, on the T side, has been Scream's aggression into Team A. It's been setting things off so nicely. The smokes are coming through, but Scream's already read this one. He's going to be hopping on top of the site. This gives him such a good position to spray over the smoke. He can get the one kill and try and retreat. Relocating. It will allow VP the plant, but who cares? It's the last round of the half. It doesn't matter. G2 can still pull this round back in their favour. Taz, Pasha, and Snacks holding on for dear life. They have an AWP, but not a great deal else. Taz just picked up the AK-47, but he's got 11 health to work with. 2 players on the green train. Taz the first to fall in his 3-on-3 confrontation. Takes it down to Pasha and Snacks. They're trying to wrap themselves through the smoke. Body, in the meanwhile, will get the headshot onto Pasha from behind, leaving it all on Snacks. He's going to land the first frag with the AWP, but no more from this round, and G2 will take a 12-3 half. And Shox gets it just in the nick of time. Virtus Pro won the round somehow, someway after the pause. But then when you think they're going to start to spread their legs and run away with this one a little bit, they get cut back down to size. So it's going to take a Herculean effort for Virtus Pro and some players to step up big on this second half. Now, of course, a whole different ball game on the CT half. You can play a lot more passive. Those aggressive peaks from Scream aren't going to be anywhere near as prolific as they were when they're on the T side. But Virtus Pro, quite simply put, have no room for error. If they make mistakes, G2 will pounce on it. I'm trying to find out the other scores right now on the other matches so you guys have a general idea as to what's going on. Hey Tiz, I'm glad you're enjoying it, dude. Apologies for my voice, I've got a bit of a cold going on right now. Wait, Heroica winning 15-4 against Na'Vi? You what, mate? Right, thanks for those of you that are typing in chat right now. Obviously, Twitch chat is pretty renowned for trolling, but I'm waiting for confirmation before I start sprouting off rounds. Will you cast the next major? I have no idea, dude. I hope so. Be awesome. Probably not, though, to be honest. I doubt I'll get asked. They won 16-4. Kappa. Na'Vi, what's going on, boys? Right, so, Astralis Mousesports, currently 11-8 to Astralis. Nip Hellraisers, currently 11-5 to Hellraisers. Fnatic Penta is 10-8 to Fnatic. FaZe Flipside, 12-10 to Flipside. That's a surprise, I'm not gonna lie. Envious are beating Dignitas 15-7. And indeed, as some of you have already highlighted in chat, Heroic won the first map against Na'Vi 16-4. So a complete wreckage on Na'Vi. Ouch. So after this map's done, I'll have a quick peek at the league and notify you guys on generally what's happening. Again, I was told there would be a potential of 14 different outcomes today as a result of how the matches play out. So I will try my best to do maths, which is not my strong suit, let's be honest. Here we go, second half. Virtus Pro, simply put, if they want to win this map, or any chance of winning this map, and potentially qualify, they have got to win this pistol. Snacks in prime position to strike, but he's going to get jump shot. Oh my goodness, it's gone horribly wrong for Virtus Pro. It's just Bialy left. He's got Scream, Smith's RPK and body to find and frag. What a way to lose the pistol. Such an important pistol at that. Bomb planted. Bialy narrowly missing out on RPK's head. And to make matters worse, I was about to say that Scream was coming up from behind and could have even knifed him. G2 pick up the second pistol. It's hard to see how VP get anything done from here. VP have been struggling. Neo, really the only person to be providing anything of note. Would be a big round for Virtus Pro to pick up here, though. Let's see if they can do it. They've got the pistols to make a serious impact. 3 CZs in total. Always interesting to see how the teams differ in their pistol buys. It stacks with a quick fire double 5-7 spray. He's going to land the double kill there. Snacks has also got himself the AK. Meanwhile, Taz is going to see action, you have to assume, especially how the terrorists are coming in. What is going on with Smith? He's got the scout at spawn. Here comes Taz. There's the first frag with a CZ. Looking for the second one. Can't land it just yet. In the meanwhile, Smith spot from spawn. And Neo actually TK Taz. What the actual hell is going on, boys? It was Taz that died on the site to Neo in the end. It was... He didn't get killed by G2 as I thought. He actually got team killed. Rip. Rip the dream. Smith's going to save onto his scout.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Auto Director. I'll try and control the camera as much as possible, but solo casting while streaming and doing controlling the camera by myself, I'm not that good at multitasking. I'll do what I can. So VP have taken the rounds, and in many ways that's going to hurt the economy a little bit more of G2. They have managed to save the scout, however, and they've got a CZ to go alongside that, so still have a bit of power to play with. 3-2 formation. G2 looking to pull off a 2-pronged attack onto A. They already have got a bit of movement out from Scream. He's pushed through T-main. The bomb in the hands of Body. Waiting on Ivy. Grenade comes by. Doesn't do quite as much damage as I thought it may inflict. Scream in the meanwhile will get the tap on towards Neo, and he's still alive for a few more seconds. Bialy making a bit of a dinner out of that one, but finally gets the frag, and now it's done horribly wrong for Virtus Pro as they find themselves a player behind. Snacks has the AK. Needs to be careful here because he's about to get pushed from Body, but will land the frag and the second one, and Taz will lock it out with the UMP. Solid in the end for Virtus Pro, but was looking a little bit sketchy towards the middle part of that round, especially when G2 exploded out of Ivy and Bialy got fragged on top of the train. I was fearing the worst for them. But G2 will be coming back in with full AKs and a healthy dosage of nades on top of that. Taz with the timing grenades. However, G2 not home just there. Bit too early. Pretty slow, steady round as Smith gets a double entry. Bialy and Pasha say, "Here, mate, we gift wrap our lives across to you on a plate. Please take them." And Smith obliges. What is that? I mean, take nothing away from Smith's beautiful entries, but double peeking there is so dangerous. He only lost 22 health on top of it. That's unreal. And now the CT's almost forced into peaks. They have to try and get some information. They have to try and pick up frags, and Snacks will do just that with his AK. Double headshots. Neo in the meanwhile comes back in for a frag of his own. Body misses out on this first opportunity, but jumps on the second one. Problem now for G2. They're both very low. 28 and 12 on Smith's and body. Neo is far from healthy on top of that, however, for the CTs. And Taz trading out to the AK. We'll get the frag onto body. Smith's, in the meanwhile, peeks out. 20 seconds. Got to get a move on. Doesn't have the bomb either. It's in a very precarious position on the other side of the A plant. Smith stays. You have to feel R-numbered, and it will be Neo to put the final nail in the coffin as VP pick up a 6th round. That's a hell of a comeback in that round for VP, considering that Smith's got 2 kills in the opening moments of the round itself on Ivy. Impressive work. G2 back into an eco. They do have 2 Deagles though, and 3 P250s, so definitely can't write them off. Round changing potential. That grenade looked like it would do a lot more damage than just 2. Pasha will best Smiths. Tries pushing through the smoke. Nice shot by Neo. It is an eco at the end of the day. Pasha landing the touchdown. And what started off as... oh man. Whoever's corpse that is, go see a doctor. That right leg is screwed. It's like literally pointing backwards up his ass. Scream with the Deagle. Spots the heads of Neo. Can't land it. Gets put down. VP bring it back to 7 rounds. They're keeping themselves in this just about. Now going to have to repel yet another full buy. They had the choice. Smith's actually had the choice of an AWP there. He had around 6, I think 6.2k, somewhere around that mark. You can see, even with the AK and full nade, he's still got 1.5k left in his back pocket. So interesting, he'd go for the AK-47. Let's have a look how this one plays out. Are we going to have some kind of rapid push through team main? Yes, we are. That's why the AWP wasn't picked up. They had no interest in looking for picks. They want to force this one through with some ruthless aggression. Stamp down on the jugular of Virtus Pro. As Snacks gets his feet all warm and toasty, but he's going to land the frag anyway onto Scream. In the meanwhile, Taz could have the lineup of dreams as they're pushing down ramp one by one. He's going to relocate after the frag, not getting too greedy. And this is why Taz is such a beast on the B side. He doesn't keep himself out in harm's way for too long. Gets the kill, pulls back, allows the crossfire to come to fruition from Connector. And a quick round going to Virtus Pro. G2 picked up the pistol, and since then have lost the next 5. And whereas after the first half, it was just Neo on 15 for 12, I believe his scoreline was, by far and away the top fragger. Now has some backup. Snacks is up there. Pasha and Bjarli have been showing up. Taz, I think, finished the first half on 3 kills. He's been stepping up to the plate. And here comes Bjarli with an aggressive pop flash into peak. Well, he didn't know what hit him. These flashes are on point for Virtus Pro. You can see that the terrorists couldn't see a single thing as they tried to push out onto the site. And the pause is called. And for me, this is the correct time. G2 have lost 6 in a row. They've lost them convincingly. Just try and maintain a little bit of momentum going back in their way. Have a quick chat about what's going wrong. They have enough to buy in this next round. They can get AKs. Body probably forced them to a Galil or a Tech 9, something like that. Well, let's bring up the scoreboard again. G2. It's very even, honestly, on their team. There's only a 5 kill spread between Shocks and Smiths. Shocks and RPK, pardon me. 19 and 14. But Snacks is now top fragging with Neo just behind him. Feel like we may see a fast B play. We haven't seen that yet for G2. They haven't really tested Taz. It's been more of a slow, steady push. The closest we've had to that is the 3-player stack in ramp when they came down and Taz got the crossfire behind him from Connector. But other than that, I think it was maybe a pistol round or when G2 went to an eco. This they're actually going to half buy, so I guess they are putting more emphasis and more power on the AWP. They are finally going to get themselves an AWP in the hands of Smiths. Or potentially Shocks. If they did go for a buy, to be fair, they would have had a couple of AKs, but they'd have been lacking on nades, so Me playing the slower game here. They do have still a round buffer as they look to pour out of T main. Scream using the smoke to his advantage for now, but the rest of his team is being brutalized. VP having no chill in this round. Shox will be the final player to fall. So I assume in this one we're going to see an AWP, at least one AWP. Smiths has got one. Is Shox going to pick up a second? Yes, he will. So that is the reason for the half buy in the previous one. Can they get it to work? Let's have a look at the spawns as well. Smiths has a decent enough spawn. And Shox actually has a pretty solid spawn. So let's see if one of them goes for an early pick. Nah, just going to be watching box halls instead. Nothing too aggressive this round. I guess it's a little bit confusing why Scream would throw up that molly into the flashbang. I mean, it's onto the site, so it forces a player out. There's no one to follow up onto that, so that's 2 grenades used for little impact. No one can make a move through IV. No one can actually push through and make the most of the player not being on the site. And VP could very well just put the player back on there again, which is going to be Snacks. Maybe just trying to screw with VP a little bit. Trying to draw out some of their nades. To try and counteract the potential fast play. There aren't too many grenades left for Virtus Pro. RPK is going to be using that smoke. Comes through, and Neo was tapping through there. You could see his thought process is someone could be in the smoke, but he didn't fully follow through. And I think Taz just spotted the barrel of the gun from Shox peeking through the wall. So the AWP betraying Shox, but Taz is not going to make the most of that. And elsewhere on the map, Smiths did find himself a kill. This could all come down to timing. Snacks? And he said Shax there. Okay, brilliant. We've got Shaq on the server now. Snacks, hold on a second. He's got Buddy just behind him. Snacks, turn around. What's happening here? Buddy, the meanwhile, has got himself all the way through to the CT spawn. So this probably will catch Taz completely unaware. He's like, dude, what is going on here? Buddy gets a second kill. Leaving Bjarly in a 1-on-2. Will land the first kill. And now Shox is going to land the shot from range. Yeah, it's the Shox Snacks combination that's screwing with my head. I would pay good money to watch Shaq play this game, to be honest. That'd be sick. It's just unfortunate for Snacks. He was hiding in the smoke as Buddy pushed past him. There's really no way of him knowing that. Virtus Pro have made a huge effort to close this gap, but herein lays the issue of being such a massive deficit behind. You can pick up back-to-back rounds. But if G2 just land one round and it goes in their favour, just one play, such as Body sneaking by the smoke, you are right back up the creek without a paddle. And VP have conceded the first kill. It's going to be Snacks first to fall with plenty of time left on the board. VP going to have to spread that little bit thinner. Pasha's making the rotate. So Ivy for the time being is actually completely bare and barren. VP have no eyes on it. Pasha could be coming back in. Indeed he will. But he's in more of a precarious position. And with that smoke landing, a terrorist could push through there again. Let's see if Smiths peering through there. 50 seconds now. But it's Pro desperate for some information. Desperate to find out what's going to be coming at them. Bjarly's going to go down to the hands of Scream. Neo does answer back from Connector. But now RPK through Pop Dog with one. Does dink the second player. Neo's going to have to step up massively. There's 2 frags for him. And he's looking for a third. Scream will put him out of his misery though. And now it's down to Taz. 25 seconds left. Bomb will be getting planted. But Taz could get the drop onto Scream. And he will do just that. He has no idea where Smiths is. An A retake on trade is an absolute nightmare. There's so many positions that you have to be wary of. And it's not even a case of maybe going for a smoke here and just going for the full defuse. He's got nothing to play with. This could come down to a coin flip more than anything else. And he's going to find Smiths and gets the spray. Taz keeps the dream alive. Virtus Pro take the round at the cost of 4 players. But again, it's Neo from Connector who puts down the 3 kills, lays the foundation for Taz to build off. Very well played. But as I said, it came down to that coin flip. If he goes peeking a second earlier or later, Body very well could have had him. Smith's, pardon me, could have very well had him. Alright, Shocks, what have you got up your sleeve? Not a 1 dig. Not just yet. Not too far off. G2 back into pistols. That's opportunistic, Smiths. That's ambitious, mate. Tech-9 from that range. Suppose they don't really have a great deal else to play off right now. No nades to burst onto the site with. But that's probably a very centralised defence. No aggression. It's interesting as well how the two teams approached their A defense with Scream going hyper-aggressive and Team A in most rounds. BP much more passive, not playing anyone on the E-box really. Around like this it does make sense. You want to utilise your weapon advantage with the range. They know that G2 are on pistols here. No point getting up close and personal when there's Tech-9s flying around. And this is where the M4 should triumph. Although Snacks not quite landing the second shot. Shox is going to pick up the 1, but that's probably all she wrote for G2 in this round. Scream did pick up a cheeky 1 dig onto Snacks partially through the wall, but VP have brought it back to 12-14. Who thought this would be the case after a 12-3 first half? There's the scoreboard for you. Neo top with 25 kills, Snacks 24 just behind him. The side of G2, Shox and Scream with 22-21 kills respectively. Too close to call now. G2 have only picked up 2 rounds on their T-half. One of which came off a pretty big play from Body. And with Bjarly claiming the first kill, breaking the deadlock, lifting with the first frag. G2's woes continue. It's been these kind of scenarios where G2 can't get the entry frags that they really struggle. Just getting picked off 1 by 1. They need somebody like Shox to just go ham. Scream is still alive. They've got those 2 talismen alive, not for too much longer. Snacks with the timing peak. Drop Shox into the bin. Body from meanwhile from the backside. Always watching it, but Snacks gets the frag anyway, leaving Scream with a 1-on-4. He's got the time to play with. He's got the bomb, and he's landed the first headshot. And the second one. Taz has been spotted. And Scream's going to try and play the mind games. He's going to wrap himself over to the B side. We'll see if he sticks with this idea. Indeed he shall. He's committed a little bit there as Taz goes peeking. And he's going back again. But Snacks has called this one. He moves into Pop Dog. He's got an AWP though, so if he misses that first shot, this is where Scream can pull it off and Snacks will get picked off. Scream is looking for this clutch out of nowhere, and this will be brutal. He's going to go for the taps. He runs out of bullets, but Taz can't take it down. He pulls out the Glock and Scream clutches. 15-12. What did I just witness? A ridiculous 1v4 clutch. And Virtus Pro have let that round slip through their fingers. That was their chance to close out Train. What a scrappy fight at the end. But the Glock will trump. Oh my goodness. Still G2 aren't out the woods just yet. Look at that buy. Hello here. Scream's like, why can't I move? Why can't I move? That's because there's a CT in the smoke, mate. Taz a double spray down elsewhere on the map on B. As the bomb is dropped out. And it's going to be Shox and Scream now. Trying to pull this one off for themselves against 4 very pissed off Virtus Pro players who are like, guys, how the actual hell did we just lose that round? VP can still bring us to overtime, which in itself would be miraculous. Shox gets the dink, actually, before dropping. Nice try. And Screaming another 1v4. This one, however, not quite as favourable. The bombs dropped last time he had the bomb in his hands. Plus he had 100 health. Plus he had nades. This time he's got 8 health. So, good luck to you, sir. You're an absolute beast. But yeah, the pest control was called in. Virtus Pro need to win the next 2 rounds. As Smiths and RPK, alongside Shox, really have no money to play with. So this looks as though it is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gents. It's going to go down to the 30th round. Unless G2, of course, pull off another upset round and take it down. They only have 1 Deagle to work with, but it's in the hands of who else? The one-tap master. You know, doing negligible damage to Scream, down to 88, but Taz will finish off the rest alongside Neo. All too easy. And it comes down to it, guys. It's going to be the 30th round. What's G2's buy looking like here? Do they have an AWP in play? Yes, they do. That'll be in the hands of Smiths. He's got Kevlar as well. No glass cannon AWP for today. RPK's on a Galil. And Shox could go for the AK with just a flashbang. That's what's going to happen here. So both teams running with AWPs. 2 in total for Virtus Pro. Neo and Pasha. Snack's not having any part of that today. Ivy seems to be the position of choice for now. Pasha gets flashed off. It's going to go for the repeat. RPK just round the corner. Meanwhile, Taz on B by his lonesome. Pasha is going to get smoked out for now as Snacks goes peeking, looking to return the favour onto Scream, who is the terrorist, surprise, surprise, who's in team main right now. RPK, in the meanwhile, is going to use that smoke to his advantage, pushing close. Pasha, with that grenade, could do a lot of damage. It lands right next to the feet of RPK, who catches it in his back pocket. Meanwhile, Bjarly is going to spin around as Pasha can't get that one covered. Clearly, the call came through. Pasha isn't required as Bjarly goes for a double spray down. The bomb has now been dropped out into the open. Snacks is going to put down onto Scream, and now Neo should be picking up the kill with a 5-7. Not just yet, but Pasha's there, leaving Shox in a 1-on-4, and VP have done it. We're going to overtime. G2, who took the first half 12-3, were unable to get to the finish line, and Virtus Pro have all the momentum going in their way. And you know what's absolutely nuts? If Scream doesn't pull off that crazy 1v4, VP would have won this 16-14. Absolutely mad. So both teams' terrorist side was a bit of a nightmare. But of course, the other way of looking at that is to say both teams had a super solid CT half. So I'll be curious to see if that remains the case in overtime. We'll also be keeping an eye out on which of the teams goes to the double up setup, because obviously when you have 3 rounds of overtime per half and 10k starting money, buying 2 AWPs is a huge investment on the overtime. It's very stressful on the economy. So let's see if they do go for the double AWPs. There's one. Neo, what do you want here? He's going to pick up the second one. But so did G2. So 4 AWPs in the battlefield. Someone's going to be heartbroken. Someone's wallet is going to get burnt after this round. Back to the drawing board again. So T rounds are going to be so important. And there's the first pick of overtime. Pasha goes walkies and gets put down, courtesy of Shox. These T rounds are going to be so important. How did G2 springboard their way into this round? That grenade does so much damage to RPK and Shox, who go for the boost. If Bjarly peeks again, he'll probably be a dead man, and Shox will oblige. So the opening 2 picks go the way of G2. And how do Virtus Pro counteract this? Neo's in such a sketchy position because he knows his players in Ivy, but at the same time he's got the AWP. He's trying to see if he can peek onto team A. He's going to trade out. He has the luxury of the choice of either the M4 or the AWP. 45 seconds left. Certainly a feeling that this next kill could very well just finalise the round. If G2 pick up the next one, the House of Cards should come crumbling down. And you can see, very patient play. Virtus Pro have to look for information. They have no idea as to where the bomb even is. And so Shox gets gift wrapped to third kill. But definitely understandable why Virtus Pro would go for that peak then. Taz in the meanwhile, an 1-on-5. Can he one-up on screen? No is a resounding answer. G2 will claim first blood of overtime. And more importantly, it's a T round. And with the double ops coming in, this is where it stings. This is why I said, oh, we're going to see the double ops coming in on the CT side. Because Pasha's forced into a Mag 7 and has no funds along the rest of Virtus Pro. Now, Pasha is a very capable player with the Mag 7. And he's using it close range on Ivy right here. But Smith is going to get the opening pick this time. Oh, VP, not like this. Not after you've made a crazy comeback. To lose this way will be an absolute heartbreak. And again, there's so much resting on this game. A potential qualifier position for the LAN is beckoning. So Shox got the job done last round. Smith's the other AWPer with it this one. Shox narrowly misses out on the shot. Neo is going to get the spray. And RPK is very low. And he's not long for this world. So the double kill for Neo is so instrumental in keeping Virtus Pro into this round. Hello, Scream. Obviously not hitting the gym enough, mate. Go pump some more iron. The whiff smoke is real. To toss the smoke out onto A to try and sell the fake. And to be honest, VP still only have Taz here, but he is a boss on B. And there's the double spray down. Body actually TK Scream into the back of the head. And Taz only had a couple bullets left. He's going to land the headshot. What is happening? Virtus Pro take the round regardless. (16-16). You've got to love the cheeky execute into the back of your teammate's head. The 2-bullet headshot at the end as well is tasty. That is spicy, Taz. I'm liking it. By the way, Taz is 21-21. Remember, after the first half, he had 5 frags. So that is a crazy turnaround. Goes to show how potent he's been on the CT side. RPK. Oh, I was going to say, is even required because Shox was there and Pasha's going to go down again. Now it's up to Snacks. It's a position we've seen Bjarly in a couple of times, and you better believe G2 are going to have a check at it. Problem is, though, that Snacks is too good, and RPK will fall by the wayside. Smiths can trade out the 1 frag before falling, and it looks as though VP may be able to salvage this half after all. It was looking so bad after they conceded the first round and lost the first player in the next one. But they are going to lead at half-time of overtime, 17-16. 19, of course, the magic number here. So G2 so far on this map have only been able to pick up 4 rounds on their T side. That's 1 more than Virtus Pro. Let's see if they can add right here, right now. Happy. I'm calling it double overtime. Honestly, I could see it going double overtime as well. I think VP should be able to pick up 1 round. But then G2's CT side was so damn good. It's hard to see VP just outright winning this. I could see it going second overtime as well. Could be proven completely wrong. I mean, VP have had a long time now to think about what was going wrong on their T side, what they can change, what they can switch up. So who knows, maybe they just shift into a next gear. Plus the momentum has definitely been going against G2. I want Henry G. Go get him then, bro. Right, so only the one up for Virtus Pro on the T side. G2 will be following in the footsteps of the Poles with their double up, but we saw how drastic an effect that had on the eco, especially the economy, I should say, not on the eco. Especially if they lose this first round. But let's have a look-see. Neo with the hyper plays. Hyper aggressive play with the Molotov. Making sure that no one took control over box halls. Yali with the opening pick. So, our PK's gone down. The 2 ups are still in play. So, I don't want to get too carried away. But there's no doubting that opening pick is going to do wonders. And Snack sees the backside of Shock sticking through. And just rails it. Shox drops the soap. Now Smiths is whiffing. The whiffs are real. Bonnie, meanwhile, is going to get the drop onto Pasha. And in the meanwhile, Smiths actually has landed the shot onto Neo. So, it's a back and forth seesaw round. But it's definitely going the way of Virtus Pro now. Body. Making a tenuous push up onto the site. Virtus Pro now have 2 map points after being 12-3 behind. And indeed 13-3 behind because they lost the second pistol. And now find themselves 18-16 up. This would be a ridiculous comeback. And a brutal loss for G2. Lack of grenades on the side of G2. Can they stop this push? This could force Scream into an aggressive play. He likes this play, and that flashbang is totally on point. Snacks gets found out. Taz is also fully flashed. He couldn't do anything to save his comrade. So the aggro play working out for Scream. And what a big pick that could end up being. G2 were on the brink of collapse. Have somewhat stabilised. That smoke is going to keep Scream at bay for now. Goes for the spray, just a little bit more to the right, bit more to the left. Pasha's going to die anyway. Smiths is going to land the shot. And the retaliation charge for Virtus Pro sees Bjarly take point. Gets a double spray down. Beautiful AK work. The spray transfer was exquisite. And Virtus Pro, seemingly like an unwinnable situation, are back into a 3-on-3. This next duel between Taz and Scream could be so important. You'd expect Scream to come out ahead. He has the drop on Taz, but he actually moves away. The timing's unreal, but he has picked off the kill into Neo anyway. Goes for the repeat. Taz has been flashed again. And comes out with the spray. It's all on Shox. He has to deliver a 1v2 if he wants to keep his side on this map. He should get the Kobe onto Taz. It actually doesn't kill him. What's going on here? And VP have done it. They're going to win in overtime. 19-16. Going back from a crazy deficit. They'll